this is Steve from the Dice Cup, and today I'm going to show you how to play a two-player game called Jaipur. It's a game that's played over 3 rounds and takes about 30 minutes. So this is a game of Jaipur set up for 2 players. You're going to start by dealing each player 5 cards. It's going to be played over 3 rounds, and at the start of each round they're going to get 5 cards, and in the middle there are going to be 3 camels and 2 other cards that are random. They may also be a camel or 2, but those 2 are just 2 cards off the top of the deck. Down the side here are scoring tokens of the 6 different types of good. You've got gold, silver, diamonds, cloth, leather I think, and spice. Those are going to be what you're trying to get over the course of the game, and when any 3 of these piles are eliminated or the draw deck is eliminated, that signals the end of this particular round, and you add up the points to see who's won that particular go. On your turn, to start with, you're going to look at the 5 cards you're dealt with, and any camels you have dealt at the start are going to form your herd. And your herd is visible to your opponent, so that in my herd I've got 2 camels here. I will put them face up and keep my card secret. My opponent has 3 camels in his herd there. And on your turn you may do one of 2 things. You may either effectively buy stuff from the middle. By buying, you're not actually paying anything to do so, but you're taking cards from the middle, or you can sell cards in your hand to try and get some of these tokens on the side. So the buy action works as follows. There are 3 different things you can do on the buy action. You can take 1 card, 1 good from the centre and replace it with a card off the deck. So I look at my hand, I realise I've got 1 silver. I might take this silver and replace it with 1 off the deck. On my next turn, if it's my turn to buy, I could take exactly the same thing. I could take 1 of these golds and replace it with a card of the deck. But since gold's quite valuable, I might want to take both of them. If at any point you want to take more than 1 resource from the centre, you need to exchange. You need to exchange it with either things from your hand or camels from your herd. So what I could do, I could take both of these golds if it was my turn and it was a buy action, and I could replace them either with the 2 camels I've got, or with 1 camel and a silver, or 1 camel and some other card from my hand, or indeed 2 cards from my hand. The restriction on hand limit is you're only allowed 7 cards in your hand at the end of your turn. Camels that you've got in your herd are not counted towards that. The third buy action you can do, because camels can be used to get more than 1 good at a time by exchanging them here, is you may take all the camels from the centre. It gives you more buying power later in the game, but it does hand the initiative to your opponent, because your opponent gets to look at possibly 5 newish cards. In this case your opponent could get 3 gold, which should be quite good for them. So that's the buy action. You can either take 1 card, take many cards, or take the camels. If you take more than 1 card you have to exchange. The selling action works as follows. You're going to take cards from your hand of 1 particular type. So in this case I could either sell cloth or I could sell silver. I haven't got anything else to sell, and I could sell 1 of those 2 types of things, and I will be taking tokens from here. So let's say I decide to sell cloth. I would return 2 cloth to the discard pile, and I would take the first 2 cloth tokens, because I exchanged 2 cards, from here. The top one's worth 5 points, the next one's worth 3, and it goes 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. All the tokens, the more expensive ones are the first ones. So if you're the first one to sell a particular type of good, you will get more points at the end of the round. The 3 expensive types of good, there is a slight restriction. On any of the cheap ones, you can just sell 1 card if you want. If you sold 1 card, if you sold 1 spice, you'd get 5 points. You might want to do that rather than let your opponent get it first. But the expensive ones, the diamonds, the silver and the gold, you always need to sell at least 2 cards. So I have 2 silver here, I could sell those 2 silver and take these 2 silver worth 5 each. One reason why you might not want to sell straight away, the reason for selling straight away is to get the higher value tokens before they go, but one reason for holding off is that if you can sell 3 or more tokens in a go, you can take 1 of these bonus tokens here. If you sell 3, 4 or 5 goods in 1 turn, you may get 1 of these 3 piles. The first pile for 3 tokens are randomly distributed, 1, 2 and 3 points. If you sell 4 cards at a time or 4 tokens at a time, you can take one of these at a random 4, 5 or 6 points. And if you manage to sell 5 goods of one type at a time, you can take one of these, which is worth 8, 9 or 10 points. The highest value of any of these is 7, so getting 10 points is quite a lot. You play in that way, toing and froing, alternating between buying from the centre and selling to get the tokens until 3 piles of tokens, 3 piles of tokens are depleted completely, or the draw deck is depleted. Usually it will be the tokens. Once that happens, you do one final score. The person with the most camels remaining in their herd gets also a bonus 5 points. You would take that, add it to the ones you've already claimed, add up your points and see who's run. There are 3 round tokens, 1 for the winner of each round. So if I won the first round, I would take that. And you play 3 rounds to see how many rounds you can win. You either play first to 2 or you can play 3 rounds to see if you can manage to do a clean sweep. That is the game of Jaipur. I've been Steve from the Dice Cup. Thank you very much.